It is so comfortable to sit in a chair and, through a wet window, to look how through the lights of the street lamps pass shadows of people. No need to hurry, you're just sipping coffee and trying to guess whose shadow it was that flashed in the light of a night city in front of the window. Here is a shadow with a thrown-over hood, probably belongs to some woman whose beauty captivated many men and who is walking down familiar streets of the city. We are in the city of Uralsk, but we are out of it, as if we traveled far away to the past, a few centuries ago. It looks like any other city, but there is a feeling that the darkness, coming up closer and closer, makes us turn, and as we turn around, we see only endless string of glowing lights and silhouette pass by. And we wander through the city, getting into the darkest alleys, in the tiniest streets. This walk turns into an extraordinary adventure. Uralsk is one of the oldest cities in Kazakhstan, and the study of the history of its native land became a kind of a hobby for Uralsk residents. Since ancient times, the city's location was convenient from an economic point of view. People who lived here developed trade and tried to respect national traditions. In Uralsk there were many schools with several languages of instruction. People came here to study from Samara, Orenburg, Astrakhan and Kazan. Many popular Turkish-speaking newspapers were issued here and theaters were established. Uralsk was one of the most international cities. There is a legend that came to us through the centuries. Once a young Cossack fell in love with a Tatar woman Aysulu. Love was mutual, but the groom's parents were against the marriage. But soon hunger came to the city, and the girl did something that managed to change the anger to mercy of the groom's parents. Once, in the difficult time of famine, Aysulu went to the river and saw a big fish in the river Jibek. She didn't have any fishing gear. Girl decided to cut off her braids and she wove a net from her hair. The next morning she brought to the city a lot of sturgeon. After this incident, a toast appeared in the city. Let's raise a toast to the grandmother Gugnih. That is how people called Aysulu when she got old.
Есть такая фраза прекрасная: когда бы смутное влечение, чего бы жаждущей души, я здесь остался.
There is such a beautiful phrase. Whenever a vague desire for something comes to a thirsty soul, I stay here in anticipation. It is the spirit that women here were so beautiful that all men or travelers came here to look at the face of Kalmyk or Cossack women.
Они ехали сюда, действительно, как бы посмотреть на лицо или калмычки, или казачки.
Foundation of the city comes to 1613, when at the banks of the Ural River, formerly known as Yaik, appeared the first permanent settlement. The current name of the city comes from 1775, when the Tsarist government suppressed the rebellion led by Pugachev. Then, to erase the memory of the people about the scenes of peasant rebellion, Catherine the Great ordered the river Yaik to be renamed to Ural, and the town was named Yaitsky Uralsk. This city was visited by many famous writers and poets. In 1833, the city was visited by the great Russian poet Alexander Pushkin.
Он здесь пробыл 3 дня. И это была осень, очаровательная осень, как сказал Александр Сергеевич Пушкин.
He stayed here for 3 days, and it was autumn. Charming autumn, as Pushkin said. Charming to the eyes and a great time. 3 days he spent in this house. He stayed on the 2nd floor of this building. This house had 8 guest rooms. There were 2 large rooms for dancing on the 1st floor. One was a buffet and the other 2 rooms were winter gardens. His goal was to collect materials on the peasant war of 1773 to 1775, but as a poet himself wrote, he wanted to find out people's opinion. Pushkin himself went to talk to people, and he wrote interesting words. I visited Uralsk and places where the events occurred, checking documents of the dead eyewitnesses and rechecking their memory through historical criticism.
Я посетил именно про Уральск. Я посетил те места, где произошли события, проверяя мертвые документы, еще живых очевидцев, и вновь проверяя их дряхлеющую память исторической критикой.
Alexander Pushkin wasn't here for a long time. We can say that he was here for one wonderful moment, but it was enough for the city to embrace romanticism.
В 1833 году Пушкина встретил атаман Покатилов. А так как атаман Покатилов был приезжим атаманом, которого...
In 1833, Pushkin met Chieftain Pokatilov, and he told to all mothers of Ural to bring out their daughters, and from that time the tradition of giving balls started. We are calling it Pushkin Autumn of Uralsk. It is time for mazurkas, polonaise, the rustling of dresses and coats.
Пушкинская осень, мы говорим, Пушкинская осень при Урале, это время мазурок, полонеза, шорох платьев и фраков.
It's a great event. Pushkin is a great poet, and the kids, the students at the school have staged an amazing event, as you've seen in the conference hall.
I've been in Uralsk for 10 months, almost 11 now. I'm really attached to Uralsk. It is my second home. It's a beautiful city, developing city. It is a city with a future that the president will be proud of. And definitely the historical, the feeling, the spirit of the city, you feel all the time. You see the old buildings and the beautiful statues and the people. They love tradition, and it's beautiful that they keep their tradition.
I would like to move into the era where women were women and men fought for their ladies, shot in a duel to defend an honor of their own lady. There are many people who are into this era, who live with the thoughts and emotions of the time. The main street in Uralsk is illuminated with lights. Today there is a tendency to go to a 24-hour travel. Even museums and theaters begin to work in an unusual time, because the night is an undeveloped space into which many people try to penetrate. And Uralsk is attractive by the fact that almost every building in the old part of the city is already an exhibition under the open sky.
Наша архитектура представлена вся в XVIII и XIX веке. Центральный областной акимат, который сейчас представляет, это областной акимат, который гравирован двумя львами. На данный момент эти львы...
Our entire architecture is represented in 18th, 19th centuries. Regional Akimat is engraved with two lions. These lions are symbols of power. Previously, on the ground floor of the building were a pharmacy, a confectionery and a library. Akimat is a unique building. According to the legend, in this building an unknown woman committed suicide. These people who protect the building say that here after midnight you can hear the sound of balls, mazurka, waltz, polonaise, the sound of glasses, and woman in a white dress comes down the stairs. It is a legend.
Музыкальные балы, идет музыка, мазурка, полонез, вальс, звук стаканов, и спускается с больших лестниц вот эта женщина в белом платье. Это вот легенда.
Later in the evening, the city can offer a lot of things that you can also see during the day, but the feelings are too different. You have to agree, the night at the museum, a night of music, parks, theaters, festivals of light, night city tours and balls sound more beautiful. Night is the time which hides details, highlights the important and offers a different focus. Standard places to which we are accustomed at night look very different, in a special way, in a romantic way.